Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta. We're always honored to bring you stories of individuals and organizations making an impact in our community and around the globe. Have you ever met someone and immediately felt their warmth and heart for children in our community? Nicknamed the Southern Queen of Fun and Learning, WKNO's Teacher is a whimsical character created from the heart and soul of WKNO's Education and Outreach Manager, Felicia Peat. Felicia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for having me. I'm excited about being here.
Absolutely. We're so excited to have you. Before we talk about Teacher, talk about your work across the Mid-South and then really what led up to creating this character beloved by so many in our area.
Oh, wow. Now, I've been in this kid thing a long time. I spent 25 years at the Children's Museum of Memphis, and did a lot of teacher kind of things. And then I've come here to WKNO Channel 10, and I've been here for 5 years now and created Teacher. We sort of, when I first got here, I just sort of tried to create a character that would identify with children outside of the television programming. Someone local. I've always loved children. But what I thought about was all the different times at the Children's Museum when we had camps and workshops and things like that with little kids. And of course, little kids don't always know your name when they first get there. And all they would call you is teacher until they got your name down. And that's where Teacher came from. That's how she was created.
And it is easy to resonate with so many kids because a word like teacher, they understand, many of them, what a teacher is. And so being able to resonate with you, knowing that they're going to learn from you and have fun with you, and that comfortability from just getting to know who you are is great for them to really just go into learning all the great things that you teach them. Your platform is really about early literacy. A lot of it is. Why is that so important to you?
Early literacy, it's important to me just because you can't do anything without reading. One of the issues when I first got at Channel, here at Channel 10, was the idea that as third graders, I was reading over some information from the it's now Memphis Shelby County Schools report, which said that at that particular time it was 21% of their students, over 100,000 students in their schools, that were reading on a third grade level, that were in the third grade. And that, to me, it was alarming. It was hurtful. Because there's nothing you can do without reading. Reading is the catalyst that opens doors to so much, and it's just an important asset. Children have to know how to read, and there's so much joy in reading. So many places you can go when you read. So I just wanted to make sure kids could identify with that and understand that. And feel that and know how important reading was. And so that's why literacy became the major platform for Teacher.
I love that reading and literacy is really the driving force for Teacher. And there are so many great WKNO PBS Kids shows that focus around reading and come from classic books, Arthur, and you've got so many others that really showcase the importance of literacy throughout their programming. So to be able to weave that in, Sesame Street as well, to be able to weave that in for the work that you're doing just helps elevate the importance of literacy. What are some tips that you would give parents to improve reading skills for their child?
We have a TikTok page, Teacher does, that actually started with the phonics. That's how that was the whole purpose for it, the phonics of the alphabet, and we share tips as well on our TikTok page. And one of the things that we always encourage, that when parents are in the car with their children, because we're in the car a lot these days, we do a lot in the car, that when there are street signs, when there are business signs, identify letters and make those sounds that letters make, identify the words like a stop sign. I mean, we can identify a stop sign by its symbol, but to let the kid focus on the words, the letters, the STOP, each time they see that, it's just a wonderful way to help them to learn to read. That's just one of the tips. One of the main tips is to make sure that you read to your children every single day. Try to read to them for 30 minutes, but if you only have 10 minutes, that's okay. But put a book in their hand, even if they can't read it, so they get familiar with that book. I could go on and on. You do know, Andrew, right, about these tips to help our early learners, right? But
Yes,
those
and that's
are
what I
just a couple of them.
Yeah, those are great tips. And I love that you did mention your TikTok page because you have, it is both entertaining for adults and children. Your TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we'll get into where we can find those later on. But I do love your social media presence because it is such a welcoming, we scroll so much on social media, and every time I see a teacher post, I stop and I learn so much, but then also sharing it with my 3 children about your book adventures and silly science, and some of the music that you tie into is so much fun. I love that it's clear that you love your job, but also that you are passionate about sharing just fun and learning with the kids. Let's dive into this award. What is the Excellent Effort Award from the Seed Office of Memphis Shelby County Schools that you're involved with?
Oh, wow. We were approached from the seed department. That's their discipline department. And everybody, when you think of the seed office, according to that particular department, you think of negative kind of things like children getting disciplined or suspensions or things like that. Well, what we wanted to do was to bring a positive aspect to that department. So when they approached us, we were like, well, wouldn't it be wonderful to do something on schools that are improving? The kids are actually following restorative practices, is their word for it, where there's good behavior, the academics are going up, the principals are just doing a wonderful job. So that's what we've done. That Excellent Effort Award is the award that schools get, and they are identified from the seed department of where they're doing so well, and the kids are just doing a tremendous job. The principal and staff members are just outstanding, and we wanted to showcase that because, again, and these are some schools that are inner cities, Title I schools, where a lot of times they are looked at as not doing well. But it's until you get in those schools and see the wonderful activities and the wonderful learning that they bring, and I have been so amazed at some of these schools. Grandview Heights, the functional skills class that they have was just amazing. Sherwood Sherwood Middle School. And that's the interesting thing too. A lot of times teacher appeals to the younger audiences, but with these particular schools, a lot of them are middle schools and high schools. And it's so funny that when we get there, that they recognize teacher. It's also funny that some of them say, I grew up with you. And I'm thinking, you're still a kid, okay? You haven't grown up yet. But it's just highlighting those schools that people don't think are doing a wonderful job, and they're doing an outstanding job. So that's what that whole Excellent Effort Award is all about, from teacher.
I love that you are recognizing those schools that are maybe Title I or in challenging areas or poverty stricken areas where you really have to see and elaborate on the creativity that is used, because the budgets may be smaller. They may have larger classroom sizes because they don't have the number of teachers that they need. And so there's a lot of things stacked against them, but be able to go in and say, here's what you were doing creatively, efficiently to become this great effort in excellence for education to provide a platform for the kids to learn. Talk about the average week of teacher teacher. You've got book adventures, math minutes, silly science, and then the Friday Friends, which a lot of it is sponsored by Friends at International Paper. So talk about what an average week of teacher teachers like.
Of course, we do those recordings, the book adventures where we have community leaders as well as teacher reading to our early learners. We showcase that on a lot of our social media pages as well as the math minutes and the silly science. Now we do have math minute segments. We have 1 minute segments that also showcase on our broadcasting station, our children's channel as well. And all of these things, all the tapings and recordings don't include the fact that teacher does go into the schools. We just recently did a Black History program with Snowden Elementary School, and it was amazing, where teacher goes out and reads. I volunteer, I volunteer. I don't volunteer as teacher for this particular school, for Bartlett Elementary School on Mondays. So we do several different groups there. I think I have a functional skills group that I work with, the kindergarten group that I work with. And if I am not there, those kindergartners are going to let me know. Third graders, teachers just all over. I probably couldn't give you a just feel of everything that teacher does in a particular week. There's just no way I could feel every day. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm out there. I can just tell you I'm out there, and it's where I like to be, right in the midst of the community. Again, because that's the importance, is to let them know that our programming doesn't just exist within the television setting. So I like to say I literally like to go out of the box and go into the communities where the children are, where the teachers are, where the parents are. We do community events for literacy. We're getting ready to do one on physical activities with kids. So family fun days, we're looking to do those with games and things like that to get kids up and moving. So there's just so much that we do in the community. I don't think people really understand the impact that WKNO and teacher makes within the community.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you've really expanded upon what you would do in an average week. It's crazy because we do see the math minutes on the broadcast, and we see the book adventures on social media and such, but also knowing that you're in these schools, out of the box, like you said. I'm curious, do other PBS affiliates have their own version of teacher, or are you really forging the path and bridging that gap between the on-screen and off-screen engagement?
I'm happy to say that I am forging the gap. We've also done a lot of collaborations with our other public broadcasting stations also here in the city of Memphis. As a matter of fact, our math minutes and some of the other interstitials that are on the television are also broadcasted through other Tennessee broadcasting stations as well. And some of the things teacher's done is also nationally done. But no, everybody doesn't have a teacher. I think some of them have started to look into it. But no, we created the teacher, a local representation of our station, and that goes out, and the kids definitely know teacher when they go out into the schools. And it's so funny because sometimes the parents, when teacher's in places, the parent doesn't quite understand, like the children are looking and they're talking, and so they have to tell the parent, I know that lady. And so the kids will identify even before the parents ever do. And they also will come up and tell me all of these things that they've learned from those 1 minute spots, because we have safety spots as well that talk about fingerprinting your child, so that in the event of a missing child, you have that information. We have them that talk about gun safety, talk about playground safety. So kids will come up and talk about all those math minute things. They'll talk about all these safety rules, and it just lets me know that using that platform, even though we're talking to kids, we also want the parents to get it. And the parents can also share that with me as well. So that platform is really working in our community.
Where can people go to learn more about teacher and support your efforts?
Okay, that's a good question too, because we on our website we have all kinds of information. We have a kids page on our website as well, www.wkno.org. We also have a platform on Facebook that's WKNO TV. You can also look at our Instagram page. That's WKNO Teacher, and that's also what's on our TikTok page. So yeah, go to TikTok and follow Teacher. TikTok is a hard nut to crack.
Well, you're
But we're
doing it.
trying. We're getting out there.
You are trying, you're having a fantastic time. And I love seeing just the fun that teacher is having, and as well as you, Felicia, because I know behind Teacher is a passionate woman that is just excited to teach and educate Mid-South youth. Felicia Peat, thank you so much for joining us today and powering the good in our community.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrew, and your job, everything that you guys do too it's amazing, and I'm so glad to be a part of it and be a partner with you. It's amazing, and it takes all of us. It takes a village. It really does, to educate our families here in the Mid-South.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.